Ever felt like you're living someone else's life? The audiobook Be You, Stop Pretending, Start Living is your key to breaking free from the mask of expectations. Discover how to silence critics, conquer anxiety, and embrace your true self. With practical strategies rooted in psychology, you'll learn to live boldly and authentically. Don't miss out on the joy and fulfillment of being genuinely you. Your transformative journey to a life without pretense starts here. Before we go on, I invite you to download the free bundle, which contains the ebook version of this book and an executive summary of all the chapters with the key takeaways. Studies show that engaging with content through multiple formats significantly enhances learning and retention. Click on the first link in the description to claim your free bundle now and maximize your learning potential. Now it's free, but it won't be for long, so make sure to grab it while you can. Chapter 1, Awakening Self. Have you ever felt like you're living someone else's life? Like you're wearing a mask, playing a role that doesn't quite fit? If so, you're not alone. In today's fast-paced, hyper-connected world, it's all too easy to lose touch with who we truly are. We become so caught up in meeting expectations, chasing success, and fitting in that we forget to ask ourselves a crucial question: am I living authentically? This book is your invitation to embark on a transformative journey, a journey that will lead you back to yourself, to the person you were meant to be before the world told you who you should be. It's a path of self-discovery, courage, and ultimately, freedom. But why start this journey? Why now? The answer lies in the growing sense of disconnection many of us feel. It's that nagging feeling that something's not quite right, even when everything on the surface seems fine. It's the quiet voice inside that whispers, there must be more to life than this. This disconnection is more than just a fleeting emotion. It's a sign that you're ready for change, ready to awaken to your true self. Recognizing this feeling is the first crucial step on your path to authenticity. It's the spark that ignites the transformation process. As you begin this journey, you'll start to understand the fundamental principles of self-actualization, a concept introduced by psychologist Abraham Maslow. Maslow proposed that humans have an innate drive to realize their full potential, to become the best version of themselves. This drive sits at the top of his famous hierarchy of needs, suggesting that once our basic needs are met, we naturally seek personal growth and self-fulfillment. Understanding self-actualization provides a framework for your journey. It helps you see that your desire for authenticity isn't just a whim or a luxury, it's a fundamental human need. It's your birthright to live a life that truly reflects who you are at your core. But understanding isn't enough. To truly benefit from this journey, you need to commit to it. This commitment is more than just reading a book or trying out a few exercises. It's a promise to yourself to keep pushing forward, even when it gets uncomfortable. Because make no mistake, this journey will challenge you. It will ask you to question long-held beliefs, face fears, and step out of your comfort zone. So what can you expect to achieve as you embark on this journey? In the short term, you'll start to recognize the ways in which you've been disconnected from your true self. You might notice patterns of behavior that don't align with your values, or realize that some of your goals are more about pleasing others than fulfilling your own desires. This increased self-awareness is just the beginning. As you continue to apply the principles and practices in this book, you'll find yourself living more and more in alignment with your core values and true desires. You'll make decisions that reflect the real you, not the version of you that you think others want to see. Over time, this alignment leads to a profound sense of personal fulfillment and satisfaction. You'll experience the joy that comes from living authentically, from being true to yourself in all aspects of your life. This isn't about achieving perfection or reaching some final destination. It's about embracing the ongoing process of growth and self-discovery. But how do we get there? What are the steps involved in this transformation? The journey begins with acknowledgement, recognizing and accepting that you need to change. This might seem simple, but it's a crucial first step. Many people spend years, even decades, ignoring the signs that they're living inauthentically. By acknowledging the need for change, you're already ahead of the game. Next comes understanding. You need to grasp not just the concept of self-actualization, but also the specific ways in which you've been holding yourself back. This involves deep self-reflection and honesty. It's about looking at your life with fresh eyes and asking tough questions. With this understanding in place, you can start setting clear personal growth goals. These aren't just any goals. They're goals that align with your true self, that move you closer to the person you want to be. They might involve changing career paths, ending toxic relationships, or simply speaking your mind more often. Finally, and perhaps most importantly, you need to commit wholeheartedly to ongoing self-improvement. This journey isn't a quick fix or a one-time event. It's a lifelong process of growth and discovery. Your commitment is what will keep you going when things get tough, when old habits try to reassert themselves, or when fear threatens to hold you back. Why are these steps important, and why have I put them in this order? It all comes down to creating lasting change. Recognition is the catalyst. Without it, there's no motivation to change. Understanding provides direction and purpose, ensuring that your efforts are focused and meaningful. Goal setting gives you concrete targets to aim for, allowing you to measure your progress and stay motivated. And commitment? That's what ensures you'll persevere through the challenges that inevitably arise on any journey of personal growth. As you begin this journey, you might notice what I call the inner stirring. It's that feeling of restlessness, of something not being quite right. You might find yourself questioning choices you've made or feeling unfulfilled despite outward success. These are all signs that you're disconnected from your true self. You might realize you're living someone else's life, following a career path your parents chose, maintaining relationships that no longer serve you, or pursuing goals that don't truly excite you. Recognizing these signs is crucial. It's the wake-up call that tells you it's time for change. This is where Maslow's concept of self-actualization becomes particularly relevant. Understanding the hierarchy of needs helps you see where you might be stuck. Are you so focused on security or social acceptance that you're neglecting your higher-level needs for esteem and self-actualization? Recognizing this can be a powerful motivator for change. The importance of fulfilling your personal potential can't be overstated. It's not just about personal satisfaction, though that's certainly part of it. When you live authentically and strive to reach your full potential, you're better equipped to contribute to the world around you. You bring your unique gifts and perspectives to bear on the challenges we all face. As we wrap up this first chapter, it's time to set the stage for the journey ahead. Acknowledge the need for transformation in your life. Look honestly at where you are and where you want to be. Commit to the process of personal growth, knowing that it won't always be easy, but that the rewards are immeasurable. Remember, this is just the beginning. In the chapters that follow, we'll delve deeper into the strategies and mindsets that will help you live authentically. We'll explore how to unmask yourself, embracing your true identity rather than the personas you've created to please others. We'll learn how to silence the critics, both external and internal, that hold you back from being your true self. Are you ready to take the first step on this transformative journey? To discover what lies beyond the masks and expectations, and to embrace the freedom of living authentically? The path ahead is filled with challenges, but also with incredible opportunities for growth and fulfillment. It's time to awaken to your true self, to stop pretending and start living. As we move forward, prepare yourself for a deep dive into the art of unmasking. You'll soon discover the liberating power of shedding the false personas you've accumulated over the years. But for now, take a moment to reflect on what you've learned. What stirrings of change do you feel within yourself? What possibilities are beginning to emerge as you contemplate a life lived authentically? The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. You've just taken that step. The road to authenticity stretches out before you, full of promise and potential. Are you ready to see where it leads? Before we continue, make sure to subscribe to Grow to the Top and activate notifications to receive more self-improvement tips that will supercharge your growth. And make sure to give this video a thumbs up and share it with your friends. It really helps the channel grow. Thank you for your support. Chapter 2. Unmask yourself. Have you ever caught yourself behaving differently around certain people or in specific situations? Perhaps you've noticed a shift in your tone, mannerisms, or even your opinions depending on who you're with. If so, you've encountered one of the most intriguing aspects of human behavior, the social mask. We all wear masks. These aren't physical coverings, but rather the personas we adopt to navigate the complex social world around us. They're the versions of ourselves we present to others, often unconsciously, in an attempt to fit in, gain approval, or protect our vulnerable inner selves. But what lies beneath these masks, and why is it so crucial to recognize and ultimately remove them? The concept of the social mask isn't new. In fact, it's deeply rooted in psychological theory, particularly in the work of Carl Jung. Jung introduced the ideas of the persona and the shadow, two fundamental aspects of our psyche that play a significant role in how we present ourselves to the world. The persona, according to Jung, is the face we show to the world. It's our public image, the role we play in society. Think of it as the character you portray in the grand theater of life. This persona isn't inherently negative. It helps us navigate social situations and can even protect us in certain circumstances. However, when we become too attached to our persona, we risk losing touch with our authentic selves. On the other hand, the shadow represents the parts of ourselves that we've repressed or denied. These are often the traits or desires that we deem unacceptable or that don't fit with our idealized self-image. The shadow isn't necessarily negative either. It can contain positive qualities that we're afraid to embrace. Understanding and integrating our shadow is a crucial part of the journey towards authenticity. But how do these masks develop over time? It's a gradual process, often beginning in childhood. As we grow and interact with the world, we learn which behaviors are rewarded and which are punished. We start to shape our persona based on these experiences, creating a version of ourselves that we believe will be accepted and valued by others. Over time, these masks can become so ingrained that we mistake them for our true selves. We might adopt different masks for different situations: the professional mask for work, the social butterfly mask for parties, the perfect partner mask for relationships. While these masks can serve a purpose, they also create a barrier between our authentic selves and the world around us. Recognizing your own facades can be a challenging but enlightening process. There are common types of masks that many people wear. The perfectionist mask, for instance, always strives to appear flawless and in control. The people-pleaser mask agrees with everyone to avoid conflict. The tough guy mask never shows vulnerability or weakness. Do any of these sound familiar? Identifying the triggers that cause you to hide your true self is equally important. These triggers often stem from deep-seated fears or insecurities. Perhaps you put on your professional mask at work because you fear being seen as incompetent. Or maybe you wear your social mask at parties because you're afraid of rejection. Understanding these triggers is the first step towards dismantling the masks that no longer serve you. The process of unmasking yourself is not about dramatically tearing off all your masks at once. Instead, it's a gradual journey of self-discovery and authenticity. It begins with self-reflection, taking the time to really examine your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. Ask yourself, am I being true to myself in this moment, or am I playing a role I think others expect of me? One powerful technique for self-reflection is journaling. Set aside time each day to write freely about your experiences, thoughts, and feelings. Pay particular attention to moments when you felt uncomfortable or inauthentic. What mask were you wearing in those situations? What triggered you to put on that mask? Mindfulness meditation can also be a valuable tool in increasing self-awareness. By practicing being present in the moment and observing your thoughts without judgment, you can start to recognize when you're slipping into inauthentic behaviors. As you become more aware of your masks, you might feel a strong urge to immediately shed them all. However, it's important to approach this process with patience and compassion for yourself. Remember, these masks developed as a form of protection. Removing them can feel vulnerable and uncomfortable at first. This is where the concept of embracing vulnerability as strength comes into play. Many of us have been conditioned to view vulnerability as weakness. But in reality, allowing ourselves to be vulnerable, to show our true selves, flaws and all, is one of the bravest things we can do. It's through vulnerability that we form genuine connections with others and with ourselves. One practical exercise to help you embrace vulnerability is role-playing authentic interactions. Start small, perhaps with a trusted friend or family member. Practice expressing your true thoughts and feelings, even if they differ from what you think the other person wants to hear. Notice how it feels to be authentic in these moments. As you continue on this journey of unmasking, you'll likely experience a range of outcomes. At first, you might simply become more aware of when you're not being yourself. This awareness alone is a significant step forward. As you practice authenticity more consistently, you'll find yourself more comfortable expressing your true thoughts and feelings. The ultimate goal, of course, is to live authentically in all aspects of life, without fear. This doesn't mean you'll never feel afraid or uncomfortable. Rather, it means you'll have the courage to be true to yourself despite those feelings. Of course, this journey isn't without its challenges. You might encounter resistance to change, both from yourself and from others who are accustomed to your masked self. Remember that change is a gradual process. Take small steps and celebrate each moment of authenticity. Fear of rejection is another common obstacle. As you reveal your true self, you might worry that others won't accept you. But consider this: the relationships you form when being authentic are far more fulfilling than those based on a false persona. Building self-confidence through positive self-talk and acknowledging your worth can help overcome this fear. Relapsing into old habits is also normal. You might find yourself slipping back into familiar masks in stressful situations. When this happens, don't berate yourself. Instead, use it as an opportunity for learning. What triggered the relapse? How can you respond differently next time? As we conclude this chapter, take a moment to reflect on your own masks. What personas have you adopted in your life? How have they served you, and how might they be holding you back? Remember, the goal isn't to eliminate all masks. Some social adaptability is necessary and healthy. The key is to ensure that your masks are conscious choices that align with your authentic self, rather than unconscious reactions that hide your true nature. The journey of unmasking yourself is ongoing. It requires courage, self-compassion, and a willingness to embrace the unknown. But the rewards are immeasurable. As you peel away the layers of your social masks, you'll discover a sense of freedom and authenticity that perhaps you've never known before. As we move forward, we'll explore how to take this newfound authenticity and use it to create a life that truly reflects your inner self. But first, we must confront a force that often keeps our masks firmly in place: the expectations and judgments of others. Are you ready to silence the critics and reclaim your authentic voice? The path ahead may surprise you. Chapter 3: Embrace Authenticity. Have you ever felt like you're living a life that doesn't quite fit? Like you're wearing clothes that belong to someone else? This feeling of disconnect is more common than you might think, and it often stems from a misalignment between who we truly are and how we're living our lives. In this chapter, we're going to explore what it means to embrace authenticity and why it's crucial for living a fulfilling life. But what exactly is authenticity? It's more than just being yourself. It's about understanding who you are at your core and aligning your actions, thoughts, and beliefs with that true self. It's about peeling away the layers of societal expectations, ingrained habits, and fear-based decisions to reveal the genuine you underneath. The concept of authenticity isn't new. In fact, it's been a topic of interest for psychologists and philosophers for centuries. One of the most influential thinkers in this area was Carl Rogers, a pioneer in humanistic psychology. Rogers introduced the idea of congruence, which is at the heart of what we're discussing when we talk about embracing authenticity. Rogers believed that psychological health is achieved when there's harmony between our self-image, how we see ourselves, our ideal self, who we want to be, and our real self, who we actually are. When these three aspects are in alignment, we experience what Rogers called congruence. This state of congruence is what we're aiming for when we talk about embracing authenticity. But why is this so important? Why should we strive for authenticity in our lives? The answer lies in the profound impact it can have on our well-being and relationships. When we live authentically, we align our actions with our true selves. This alignment reduces internal conflict and stress, leading to enhanced self-esteem and a deep sense of inner peace. Think about times when you've acted in ways that didn't feel true to you. Perhaps you agreed to something you didn't really want to do, or pretended to enjoy an activity just to fit in. How did that feel? Chances are, it left you feeling drained, frustrated, or even guilty. On the flip side, recall moments when you've been completely yourself, when your actions aligned perfectly with your beliefs and values. That feeling of congruence is what we're aiming to achieve more consistently in our lives. But here's the challenge. Many of us have lost touch with our true selves. We've spent so long trying to meet external expectations that we've forgotten what truly matters to us. This is where the journey of self-discovery begins. To embrace authenticity, we first need to understand our self-concept, how we view ourselves, and how that view aligns, or doesn't, with reality. Rogers' theory suggests that there's often a gap between our self-image and reality. We might see ourselves as confident and outgoing, for example, when in reality we're more introverted and reflective. Or we might view ourselves as kind and generous, but our actions don't always reflect those qualities. Recognizing and addressing these discrepancies is a crucial step in embracing authenticity. So how do we bridge this gap? It starts with discovering our core values, the principles and beliefs that are most important to us. These values serve as our internal compass, guiding our decisions and actions. But identifying these values isn't always straightforward. We've often internalized values from our family, culture, or society that may not truly resonate with our authentic selves. To uncover your genuine values, try this exercise. Imagine you're at the end of your life, looking back. What would you want to be remembered for? What qualities and actions would you be proud of? The answers to these questions can provide valuable insights into what truly matters to you. It's also important to distinguish between intrinsic and extrinsic motivations. Intrinsic motivations come from within. They're the things we do because they bring us joy or fulfillment. Extrinsic motivations, on the other hand, are driven by external rewards or pressures. While both types of motivation have their place, living authentically often means prioritizing our intrinsic motivations. Once we've identified our core values, the next step is to align our actions with these beliefs. This is where the rubber meets the road in terms of living authentically. It means making decisions that reflect our true selves, even when it's challenging or goes against societal norms. This alignment isn't always easy. We might face resistance from others who are used to our old ways of being. We might struggle with fear or self-doubt, but each time we choose to act in alignment with our authentic selves, we strengthen our sense of who we are and what we stand for. One practical way to reinforce this alignment is through daily reflection practices. Take a few minutes each day to consider your actions. Did they align with your values? If not, what led you to act differently? This reflection isn't about judgment, but about increasing awareness and making conscious choices. Another powerful tool is setting personal boundaries. Boundaries are the limits we set in our relationships and interactions to protect our well-being and honor our values. They might involve saying no to commitments that don't align with our priorities, or speaking up when something doesn't feel right to us. Setting and maintaining these boundaries is a crucial aspect of living authentically. As you embark on this journey of embracing authenticity, it's important to remember that it's a process, not a destination. You might start by simply gaining more clarity about your personal values. This increased self-awareness is a significant achievement in itself. As you continue to practice, you might find yourself consistently making choices that align with your values. You'll start to feel more confident in expressing your true thoughts and feelings, even when they differ from those around you. This consistency in living your values can bring a profound sense of peace and fulfillment. The ultimate goal is to achieve full congruence between your beliefs and actions. This doesn't mean you'll never face conflicts or challenges. Rather, it means you'll have the self-awareness and courage to navigate these challenges in a way that's true to who you are. Of course, this journey isn't without its pitfalls. You might experience confusion about your values, especially if you've spent a long time living according to others' expectations. In these moments, seeking guidance through counseling or coaching can be incredibly helpful. A skilled professional can provide tools and perspectives to help you clarify your values and beliefs. External pressures can also pose a challenge. You might face criticism or resistance from others as you start to live more authentically. In these situations, it's crucial to reinforce your commitment to your personal beliefs. Remember why you started this journey and the benefits of living authentically. Fear of authentic expression is another common obstacle. The idea of revealing your true self can feel vulnerable and scary. If this resonates with you, start by practicing authentic expression in safe environments. This might be with a trusted friend, in a supportive group, or even in your personal journal. As you become more comfortable, you can gradually expand your authentic expression to other areas of your life. Embracing authenticity is a profound and transformative journey. It's about more than just being yourself. It's about understanding who you truly are, aligning your actions with your core values, and living a life that reflects your authentic self. It's not always easy, but the rewards are immeasurable. As you continue on this path, you'll likely find yourself experiencing greater self-esteem, deeper relationships, and a profound sense of inner peace. But embracing authenticity is just one piece of the puzzle. As you become more aligned with your true self, you might find yourself facing a new challenge. What happens when your authentic self doesn't quite fit with the expectations of those around you? How do you stay true to yourself in the face of criticism or disapproval? In our next chapter, we'll explore a crucial skill for maintaining your authenticity in a world that often pushes for conformity. Are you ready to discover the power of standing firm in your truth, even when it feels like the whole world is pushing against you? Chapter 4, Silence Critics. Have you ever felt the weight of someone's judgment pressing down on you? That sinking feeling in your stomach when you receive negative feedback, or the nagging worry about what others might think of your choices? If so, you're not alone. We all face critics in our lives, some external, some internal, and learning to navigate their influence is a crucial step on the path to authentic living. But what does it really mean to silence critics? It's not about literally silencing anyone or ignoring all feedback. Instead, it's about developing the inner strength and clarity to differentiate between constructive input and unnecessary negativity. It's about freeing yourself from the paralyzing fear of judgment and building a robust sense of self that can withstand external pressures. The impact of others' opinions on our lives can be profound, often more so than we realize. We might find ourselves making decisions based on what we think others expect of us, rather than what we truly want. We might hold back from expressing our authentic selves out of fear of criticism or rejection. This constant awareness of others' potential judgments can be exhausting and limiting. There's a fascinating phenomenon in social psychology that helps explain why we're so attuned to others' opinions. It's called the spotlight effect. This term describes our tendency to overestimate how much attention others are paying to our appearance and actions. In reality, most people are far too preoccupied with their own lives to scrutinize us as closely as we imagine. Understanding the spotlight effect can be liberating. It reminds us that we're not constantly under the microscope we sometimes imagine. However, even knowing this, criticism can still sting and shape our self-perception in powerful ways. A single negative comment can echo in our minds long after it's been spoken, influencing how we see ourselves and our capabilities. So how do we begin to loosen the grip of these external judgments? One powerful approach comes from cognitive behavioral psychology. This school of thought suggests that our emotions and behaviors are largely influenced by our thoughts and beliefs. By learning to identify and challenge negative thought patterns, we can change how we feel and act. When it comes to dealing with criticism, cognitive behavioral strategies can be incredibly effective. For instance, when faced with negative feedback, we can practice reframing our thoughts. Instead of automatically accepting criticism as truth, we can question it. Is this feedback based on fact, or is it someone's opinion? Is it relevant to my goals and values, or is it a reflection of the critic's own insecurities? This process of reframing isn't about dismissing all criticism outright. There's often value in feedback, even when it's not delivered perfectly. The key is learning to differentiate between constructive feedback that can help us grow and unwarranted criticism that only serves to bring us down. Constructive feedback is specific, actionable, and focused on behavior rather than character. Unwarranted criticism, on the other hand, tends to be vague, personal, and unhelpful. As we practice challenging negative influences, we simultaneously build inner resilience. This resilience is like a psychological immune system, helping us bounce back from criticism and setbacks more quickly. A crucial component of this resilience is strong self-esteem, not the inflated kind that crumbles under pressure, but a genuine, grounded belief in our own worth and capabilities. Building self-esteem isn't about constantly telling yourself how great you are. It's about developing a realistic, compassionate view of yourself, acknowledging both your strengths and areas for growth. It's about recognizing your inherent worth as a human being, separate from your achievements or others' opinions of you. One powerful way to strengthen self-esteem is by developing a supportive internal dialogue. We all have an inner voice, and for many of us, that voice can be harshly critical. By consciously cultivating a kinder, more encouraging inner dialogue, we can create a buffer against external criticism. This doesn't mean ignoring our flaws or areas for improvement, but rather approaching ourselves with the same compassion we'd offer a good friend. Practical exercises can be immensely helpful in this process. Keeping a thought record journal, for instance, can help you identify patterns in your thinking and practice reframing negative thoughts. Each time you notice a self-critical thought or reaction to external criticism, write it down. Then, challenge that thought. Is it based on fact? Is there another way to look at the situation? What would you say to a friend in the same situation? Affirmation practices can also be powerful tools for building inner strength. These aren't about empty self-praise, but about reinforcing your core values and reminding yourself of your inherent worth. Choose affirmations that truly resonate with you and reflect the person you're striving to be. Repeat them regularly, especially in moments when you're feeling vulnerable to criticism. Visualization techniques can help boost confidence and prepare you for challenging situations. Imagine yourself handling criticism with grace and confidence. See yourself standing tall, speaking your truth calmly and clearly. The more vividly you can imagine these scenarios, the more prepared you'll feel when facing real-life critics. As you consistently practice these techniques, you'll likely notice a shift in how you respond to criticism and judgment. At first, you might simply find yourself less sensitive to external opinions. You might notice that negative comments don't sting quite as much or linger as long. This reduced sensitivity is a significant achievement and can greatly enhance your day-to-day quality of life. With continued practice, you may find yourself able to maintain your confidence even in the face of direct criticism or negative feedback. You'll be able to listen to feedback without immediately internalizing it, to consider it objectively, and decide whether it's valuable to you. This ability to stay grounded in your self-worth, regardless of others' opinions, is a powerful form of personal freedom. The ultimate goal and the best possible outcome of this work is to achieve complete freedom from the fear of others' judgments. This doesn't mean you'll never care what anyone thinks, We're social beings, after all, and completely disregarding others' perspectives isn't healthy or realistic. Instead, it means that the fear of judgment no longer controls your actions or limits your self-expression. You're able to live authentically, make choices based on your values and desires, and express yourself freely without being paralyzed by worry about others' reactions. Of course, this journey isn't without its challenges. You might find yourself struggling with persistent negative thoughts, even as you try to challenge them. This is normal. Our thought patterns are deeply ingrained and take time to change. The key is consistency. Each time you notice and challenge a negative thought, you're creating new neural pathways. Over time, with consistent practice, the new, more positive thought patterns will become your default. Another common challenge is difficulty accepting any criticism, even when it's constructive. As you work on building your inner strength, you might find yourself becoming defensive or dismissive of all feedback. Remember, the goal isn't to ignore all input from others, but to discern what's helpful and what isn't. Practice listening to feedback with an open mind, extracting any valuable insights, and letting go of the rest without letting it impact your self-worth. On the flip side, some people swing too far in the other direction, becoming so focused on silencing critics that they overlook opportunities for growth. Stay open to constructive feedback, and remember that true confidence includes the ability to acknowledge areas for improvement without feeling diminished. As you continue on this journey of silencing critics and building inner strength, you'll likely find yourself feeling more confident, more authentic, and more at peace. You'll be less swayed by the opinions of others and more in tune with your own values and desires. This inner alignment is a powerful foundation for living an authentic life. But as you stand more firmly in your truth, you might find yourself facing a new challenge. What happens when your authentic self doesn't quite fit with the expectations of those around you? How do you maintain your newfound inner strength when faced with societal pressures to conform? In our next chapter, we'll explore a crucial skill for preserving your authenticity in a world that often pushes for sameness. Are you ready to discover the power of standing out in a crowd, even when every instinct tells you to blend in? Chapter 5: Conformity. Have you ever found yourself going along with the crowd, even when it didn't feel quite right? Perhaps you've worn clothes that weren't your style, pursued a career path that didn't excite you, or held back your true opinions to fit in. If so, you've experienced the powerful pull of conformity. But what if there was another way? What if you could break free from these invisible chains and live life on your own terms? This chapter is about challenging the status quo, about daring to be different. But it's not about rebellion for rebellion's sake. It's about something much more profound: the courage to be authentically you in a world that often demands sameness. The pressure to conform is everywhere. It's in the raised eyebrows when you express an unconventional opinion, in the well-meaning advice to follow a safe career path, in the unspoken rules of how to dress, speak, and behave. These pressures can be so subtle and pervasive that we often don't even realize how much they influence our choices and behavior. But why is defying conformity so crucial for living authentically? At its core, it's about honoring your true self. When you conform to societal expectations that don't align with your values and desires, you're essentially living someone else's life. You're suppressing your unique qualities, your innovative ideas, your true passions. This self-suppression not only robs you of personal satisfaction, but also deprives the world of your unique contributions. To understand the power of conformity, we need to delve into some fascinating psychological research. In the 1950s, psychologist Solomon Asch conducted a series of experiments that revealed just how strong the urge to conform can be. In these experiments, participants were asked to perform a simple visual task, matching the length of a line to one of 3 comparison lines. The catch? All but one of the participants were confederates of the experimenter, instructed to give incorrect answers on certain trials. The results were startling. When faced with a unanimous wrong answer from the group, many participants chose to conform, giving the same incorrect answer despite what their own eyes told them. This happened in about 37% of the critical trials. Even more tellingly, 75% of participants conformed at least once during the experiment. These findings highlight a fundamental aspect of human nature, our deep-seated desire to fit in, to be accepted by the group. This desire served an important evolutionary purpose. In our ancestral past, being part of a group was often crucial for survival. But in today's world, this same instinct can lead us to compromise our authentic selves. The effects of groupthink on individuality can be equally powerful. Groupthink occurs when the desire for harmony in a group overrides rational decision-making. It can lead to self-censorship, where individuals withhold dissenting opinions or ideas. Over time, this can erode our sense of self, making us lose touch with our own thoughts and feelings. So how do we begin to break free from these conformist tendencies? The first step is awareness. Start paying attention to the areas in your life where you might be compromising yourself. Are there opinions you hold back for fear of disagreement? Interests you don't pursue because they're not normal? Dreams you've set aside because they don't fit societal expectations? It's also crucial to assess the influence of cultural and social expectations on your choices. Our culture shapes our beliefs and behaviors in profound ways, often without us realizing it. Take some time to reflect on the unspoken rules and expectations in your family, your social circle, your workplace. Which of these truly align with your values, and which are you following simply because it's expected? Once you've identified areas of conformity in your life, you can begin the exciting process of embracing your individuality. This starts with cultivating independent thought. Practice questioning assumptions, both your own and those of society at large. When faced with a decision, ask yourself, am I choosing this because it's what I truly want or because it's what's expected of me? Celebrating your personal uniqueness is another crucial aspect of defying conformity. What makes you different? What are the quirks, interests, or perspectives that set you apart? Instead of trying to hide these unique qualities, start seeing them as your strengths. They're what make you, you. Of course, moving from awareness to action can be challenging. That's where practical exercises come in. Start by challenging norms in small ways. This could be as simple as wearing an outfit that truly expresses your style, even if it's not trendy, or speaking up with a respectful but dissenting opinion in a meeting. Creative self-expression projects can be a powerful way to connect with and express your authentic self. This could be through art, writing, music, or any other medium that resonates with you. The key is to focus on expressing your true thoughts and feelings rather than creating something you think others will approve of. Exploring diverse perspectives is another valuable exercise. Seek out books, films, and conversations that expose you to different ways of thinking and living. This can help broaden your horizons and challenge your assumptions about what's normal or acceptable. As you embark on this journey of defying conformity, you'll likely experience a range of outcomes. At first, you might simply become more aware of the ways in which you've been conforming. This increased awareness is a crucial first step and an achievement in itself. With continued practice, you may find yourself confidently making independent choices. You'll be able to stand firm in your decisions, even when they go against the grain. You'll feel a sense of liberation in expressing your true thoughts and feelings, in pursuing your genuine interests and passions. The best possible outcome is not just living authentically yourself, but inspiring others to do the same. As you embrace your uniqueness, you create a ripple effect. You show others that it's possible to break free from conformity, to live life on your own terms. Your courage in being yourself gives others permission to do the same. Of course, this path is not without its challenges. You may face social backlash as you begin to defy norms. Some people may be uncomfortable with your newfound authenticity, especially if it challenges their own conformity. In these situations, it's crucial to find supportive communities. Seek out people who appreciate and encourage your authentic self. These connections can provide invaluable support and reinforcement as you navigate this journey. Internal doubts can also arise as you challenge long-held beliefs and behaviors. You might find yourself questioning your choices, wondering if you're doing the right thing. In these moments, it's important to reaffirm your personal convictions. Remind yourself why you're choosing authenticity over conformity. Connect with your core values and the vision you have for your life. There's also a risk of swinging too far in the other direction and becoming overly isolated in your nonconformity. Remember, the goal is not to cut yourself off from society entirely, but to engage with it on your own terms. Strive to balance your individuality with healthy social interaction. You can be true to yourself while still maintaining meaningful connections with others. As you continue on this path of defying conformity, you'll likely find yourself feeling more alive, more authentic, more you. You'll experience the joy of making choices that truly resonate with your inner self, of expressing your unique perspective, of living life on your own terms. But as exhilarating as this newfound freedom can be, it can also bring up unexpected emotions. As you step into your authentic self, you might find yourself face to face with a formidable opponent, one that's been with you all along, quietly influencing your choices and holding you back. What happens when the biggest obstacle to your authenticity isn't external pressure, but something much closer to home? In our next chapter, we'll explore a challenge that many face on the path to authentic living, one that often goes unrecognized but wields immense power. Are you ready to confront the hidden force that might be keeping you from fully embracing your true self? Chapter 6. Conquer Anxiety. Have you ever felt your heart race at the thought of speaking in public? Or found yourself avoiding social gatherings, fearing you might say or do something embarrassing? If so, you're not alone. These experiences are common manifestations of a powerful force that can hold us back from living authentically: anxiety. But what exactly do we mean when we talk about conquering anxiety? It's not about eliminating all feelings of nervousness or concern. After all, these emotions can sometimes be useful. Instead, it's about freeing ourselves from the paralyzing grip of excessive worry, especially when it comes to how others perceive us. This chapter focuses on a particular form of anxiety that many of us grapple with: social anxiety. This isn't just ordinary shyness or nervousness. It's a persistent fear of social situations, often rooted in a deep-seated worry about being judged, embarrassed, or rejected by others. While not everyone experiences full-blown social anxiety disorder, many of us deal with milder forms of social fear that can significantly impact our lives and hinder our ability to express our true selves. So why is addressing this anxiety so crucial for living authentically? At its core, anxiety acts as a barrier, preventing us from engaging genuinely with others and the world around us. When we're constantly worried about how we appear or what others think of us, we can't be present in the moment. We can't express our true thoughts and feelings. We hold back, presenting a carefully curated version of ourselves that we think will be acceptable to others. Moreover, anxiety can dramatically affect our overall quality of life. It can limit our opportunities, prevent us from pursuing our passions, and rob us of the joy of human connection. By learning to manage and reduce our anxiety, we open ourselves up to a richer, more fulfilling life, one where we're free to be our authentic selves. To understand how to conquer anxiety, we first need to understand its nature. Social anxiety, like other forms of anxiety, has both psychological and physiological components. Psychologically, it often stems from a fear of negative evaluation. We worry that others will judge us harshly, find us lacking in some way, or reject us outright. This fear can be so powerful that it overshadows rational thought, leading us to avoid situations where we might be exposed to others' judgment. Physiologically, anxiety manifests in a variety of symptoms. Your heart might race, your palms might sweat, you might feel a knot in your stomach, or a tightness in your chest. These physical sensations are part of the body's fight or flight response, an evolutionary mechanism designed to protect us from danger. The problem is, our bodies can't distinguish between a real physical threat and a perceived social threat, so we react to the prospect of social judgment as if we were facing a predator in the wild. Understanding these aspects of anxiety is the first step in learning to manage it, but knowledge alone isn't enough. We need practical strategies to help us face our fears and reduce our anxiety. This is where mindfulness and present moment awareness come in. Mindfulness, at its core, is about being fully present in the current moment without judgment. It's a powerful tool for managing anxiety because it helps us step back from our worrying thoughts and ground ourselves in the here and now. When we're mindful, we're less likely to get caught up in anxious predictions about the future or ruminations about the past. There are many techniques you can use to cultivate mindfulness and stay grounded in the present moment. One simple but effective practice is to focus on your breath. When you notice yourself feeling anxious, take a moment to tune into your breathing. Notice the sensation of the air moving in and out of your body. This simple act can help anchor you in the present and provide a sense of calm. Another mindfulness technique is the body scan. This involves systematically focusing your attention on different parts of your body, from your toes to the top of your head. As you do this, you're bringing your awareness to the present moment and out of anxious thoughts about the future. While mindfulness can be incredibly helpful in managing anxiety, sometimes we need to take more direct action to overcome our fears. This is where the principles of exposure therapy come in. Exposure therapy is based on the idea that the best way to overcome a fear is to face it gradually and repeatedly. Now, this doesn't mean throwing yourself into your most feared social situation right away. Instead, it involves creating a hierarchy of feared situations, starting with those that cause mild anxiety and working your way up to more challenging scenarios. For example, if you're anxious about public speaking, you might start by speaking up in a small group of friends, then progress to asking a question in a larger meeting, and eventually work your way up to giving a formal presentation. The key to exposure therapy is consistency and gradual progression. Each time you face a feared situation and survive it, you're teaching your brain that the situation isn't as dangerous as it thought. Over time, this can significantly reduce your anxiety. Building confidence through these gradual exposures is a step-by-step process. It's important to celebrate each small victory along the way. Did you make small talk with a stranger today? That's progress. Did you share an opinion in a meeting, even though your voice shook a little? That's courage in action. To support your journey in conquering anxiety, there are several practical exercises you can incorporate into your daily life. Gradual social exposure activities are a great place to start. This might involve setting small, achievable social goals for yourself each day or week. For instance, you might challenge yourself to make eye contact and smile at 3 strangers in a day, or to initiate a conversation with a colleague you don't know well. Breathing techniques can also be incredibly helpful for anxiety reduction. One effective technique is called square breathing or box breathing. Here's how it works. Inhale for a count of 4, hold your breath for a count of 4, exhale for a count of 4, and then hold for another count of 4 before inhaling again. Repeat this cycle several times. This regulated breathing can help calm your nervous system and reduce feelings of anxiety. As you consistently practice these strategies and exercises, you'll likely start to see changes in how you experience and handle social situations. At first, you might notice that you feel less anxious in familiar settings. This is a significant achievement and can greatly enhance your day-to-day quality of life. With continued practice, you may find yourself feeling more comfortable in new social situations. You'll be able to enter unfamiliar environments or meet new people with less trepidation. This increased comfort can open up new opportunities for connection and growth. The ultimate goal and the best possible outcome of this work is to achieve freedom from the constraints of social anxiety. This doesn't mean you'll never feel nervous or uncomfortable in social situations. Rather, it means that anxiety no longer controls your choices or limits your self-expression. You're able to engage authentically with others, pursue your goals, and live your life fully without being held back by excessive social fears. Of course, this journey isn't without its challenges. You might find yourself overwhelmed by anxiety at times, especially when facing particularly challenging situations. If you find that your anxiety is severely impacting your daily life, it may be helpful to seek professional support. A mental health professional can provide personalized strategies and support to help you manage your anxiety. Avoidance behaviors can also be a significant obstacle. It's natural to want to avoid situations that make us anxious, but this avoidance only reinforces our fears in the long run. One way to combat this is to establish accountability partners, friends or family members who can encourage you to face your fears and celebrate your progress with you. If you find yourself not making the progress you'd hoped for, don't be discouraged. Everyone's journey is different, and healing isn't always a linear process. Take some time to reassess your strategies. Are you pushing yourself too hard too quickly, or perhaps not challenging yourself enough? Adjust your approach as needed, always balancing self-compassion with the courage to grow. As you continue on this path of conquering anxiety, you'll likely find yourself feeling more confident, more authentic, and more at peace in social situations. You'll be able to express yourself more freely, connect more deeply with others, and engage more fully in life's opportunities. But as you step into this newfound freedom, you might find yourself facing an unexpected challenge. What happens when the anxiety subsides and you're left face to face with your true desires and ambitions? How do you navigate a world where you're no longer held back by fear, but perhaps by something else entirely? In our next chapter, we'll explore a crucial skill for thriving in your authentic life, one that might surprise you with its power and simplicity. Are you ready to discover the key to unlocking your full potential, even in a world that often pushes us to seek validation from others? Chapter 7. Release Approval. Have you ever found yourself constantly seeking the nod of approval from others? Perhaps you've changed your opinions to fit in, or pursued a path that wasn't truly yours, all in the name of gaining acceptance. If so, you're not alone. The desire for approval is deeply ingrained in human nature, but what if there was a way to break free from this constant need for external validation? This chapter is about liberation from the invisible chains of others' opinions. But it's not about becoming indifferent to the world around you. Instead, it's about finding a balance where you can value others' perspectives without being enslaved by them. It's about discovering a wellspring of confidence and self-trust within yourself. But why is releasing the need for approval so crucial for living authentically? At its core, it's about fostering independence and self-trust. When we're constantly seeking approval from others, we're essentially outsourcing our decision-making. We're letting others determine our worth, our choices, and ultimately, our lives. By releasing this need, we reclaim our power to make decisions based on our own values and desires. To understand how to release approval, we need to delve into an intriguing concept from social learning theory, the locus of control. Developed by psychologist Julian Rotter, this concept refers to the degree to which people believe they have control over the outcomes of events in their lives. Rotter proposed that people fall along a spectrum between two extremes, an internal locus of control and an external locus of control. Those with an internal locus of control believe that they are in charge of their own lives and that their actions directly influence outcomes. On the other hand, those with an external locus of control tend to believe that their lives are primarily controlled by external factors, such as luck, fate, or other people. Now, you might be wondering, what does this have to do with seeking approval? Well, the connection is profound. People with a strong external locus of control are more likely to seek approval from others because they believe their worth and success are determined by external factors. They're more susceptible to the opinions of others and more likely to change their behavior to gain approval. Conversely, those with a strong internal locus of control are more likely to trust their own judgment and make decisions based on their personal values. They're less swayed by others' opinions and more confident in their ability to shape their own lives. Understanding this concept is the first step in shifting our focus from seeking others' approval to cultivating self-approval and personal autonomy. But how do we make this shift? The first step is recognizing the trap of seeking approval. Living for others' approval can have serious consequences. It can lead to a loss of identity as we constantly shapeshift to meet others' expectations. It can result in chronic stress and anxiety as we worry about what others think of us. Perhaps most significantly, it can lead to a life of regret as we realize we've been living someone else's version of our life rather than our own. To break free from this trap, we need to start recognizing our approval-seeking patterns. Do you find yourself constantly checking social media for likes and comments? Do you struggle to make decisions without consulting others? Do you feel devastated by criticism? These could be signs that you're overly dependent on external validation. Once we've recognized these patterns, we can begin the process of cultivating self-validation. This isn't about becoming arrogant or dismissive of others' opinions. Rather, it's about developing a strong internal sense of self-worth that isn't easily shaken by external judgments. One powerful practice for enhancing self-approval is setting and achieving personal goals. These should be goals that are meaningful to you, not ones that you think will impress others. When you set and achieve these goals, you're proving to yourself that you're capable and worthy, regardless of what anyone else thinks. Another crucial aspect of self-validation is learning to affirm your worth independently of others. This involves recognizing your inherent value as a human being, separate from your achievements or others' opinions of you. It's about acknowledging your strengths, accepting your flaws, and treating yourself with the same kindness and respect you'd offer a good friend. Practical exercises can be immensely helpful in this process. Self-affirmation techniques, for instance, can help reinforce positive beliefs about yourself. These aren't about empty self-praise, but about recognizing your genuine qualities and strengths. Start each day by affirming something positive about yourself: your resilience, your creativity, your kindness, or any other quality you value. Setting personal achievement goals is another powerful exercise. These should be goals that are meaningful to you, not ones that you think will impress others. Start small and gradually increase the challenge. Each goal you achieve is a testament to your capabilities and a boost to your self-esteem. Reflective journaling on self-worth can also be incredibly enlightening. Take time regularly to write about your thoughts and feelings regarding your self-worth. What makes you feel valuable? What triggers feelings of worthlessness? Over time, you'll start to notice patterns and gain insights into your self-perception. As you consistently practice these techniques, you'll likely notice a shift in how you relate to others' opinions. At first, you might simply find yourself less dependent on others' approval. You'll start to feel more comfortable making decisions without constantly seeking input from others. This increased independence can be incredibly liberating and can greatly enhance your day-to-day quality of life. With continued practice, you may develop a strong sense of self-worth that isn't easily shaken by others' opinions. You'll be able to receive criticism without it devastating you, and you'll be able to celebrate your achievements without needing external validation. This solid foundation of self-worth is a powerful asset in living an authentic life. The ultimate goal and the best possible outcome of this work is to achieve complete autonomy in self-validation. This doesn't mean you'll never care what anyone thinks. We're social beings, after all, and completely disregarding others' perspectives isn't healthy or realistic. Instead, it means that your sense of self-worth comes primarily from within. You're able to consider others' opinions without being controlled by them. You can make choices based on your values and desires, even when they go against the grain. Of course, this journey isn't without its challenges. You might find yourself relapsing into old patterns of approval seeking, especially in stressful situations or around certain people. This is normal. Old habits die hard. The key is to catch yourself when this happens. Regular self-check-ins can help you stay aware of your patterns and recommit to your journey of self-validation. Another potential pitfall is swinging too far in the other direction and becoming isolated in your independence. Remember, The goal isn't to cut yourself off from others entirely, but to find a healthy balance between self-reliance and social connection. Strive to maintain meaningful relationships while still staying true to yourself. Overconfidence can also be a risk as you develop a stronger sense of self-worth. It's important to maintain a balance of confidence and humility. Stay open to learning and growth, and remember that having a strong sense of self-worth doesn't mean you're always right or that you don't have room for improvement. As you continue on this path of releasing approval, you'll likely find yourself feeling more confident, more authentic, and more at peace. You'll be able to make decisions that align with your true self, express your opinions without fear, and pursue your passions without being held back by the need for others' approval. But as you step into this newfound independence, you might find yourself facing a new challenge. What happens when you're no longer constrained by the need for approval, but you're not sure how to channel your authentic self into meaningful action? How do you translate this inner freedom into a life lived boldly and authentically? In our next chapter, we'll explore a crucial skill for bringing your authentic self into the world, one that might challenge you to step out of your comfort zone in ways you never imagined. Are you ready to discover the power of living boldly, of taking your authentic self and making a real impact on the world around you? Chapter 8. Live Boldly. Have you ever wondered what it truly means to live boldly? Perhaps you've imagined it as grand gestures or life-altering decisions. But what if living boldly was something you could do every day, in ways both big and small? What if it was less about dramatic actions and more about consistently expressing your authentic self in everything you do? This chapter is about bringing your true self into the world, not just in moments of inspiration, but in the fabric of your daily life. It's about taking the authenticity we've been cultivating and turning it into tangible action. But why is this so crucial for living an authentic life? When we take actionable steps to express our true selves daily, we solidify our authenticity. It's one thing to understand who we are and what we value. It's another to live those truths consistently. Each time we act in alignment with our authentic selves, we reinforce our identity and build confidence in who we are. Moreover, when we live boldly and authentically, we inspire others. We become living examples of what it means to be true to oneself. In a world that often encourages conformity, this kind of authentic living can be a powerful catalyst for change, not just in our own lives, but in the lives of those around us. To understand how to live boldly, we need to delve into some fascinating concepts from positive psychology, particularly the work of Martin Seligman. Seligman, often considered the father of positive psychology, developed theories on authentic happiness and well-being that provide valuable insights into living a fulfilling life. One of Seligman's key ideas is the concept of self-efficacy, our belief in our ability to succeed in specific situations or accomplish tasks. Self-efficacy plays a crucial role in how we approach challenges and goals. When we have a strong sense of self-efficacy, we're more likely to view difficult tasks as challenges to be mastered rather than threats to be avoided. Building self-efficacy is about recognizing and harnessing our personal power and agency. It's about understanding that we have the ability to shape our lives and influence our outcomes. This doesn't mean we have control over everything that happens to us, but it does mean we have control over how we respond and the actions we take. One practical way to build self-efficacy is by setting realistic and achievable goals. When we set and achieve goals, we prove to ourselves that we're capable of success. Start with small, manageable goals and gradually increase the challenge. Each success builds confidence and reinforces your belief in your abilities. Alongside self-efficacy, resilience is another crucial component of living boldly. Resilience is our ability to bounce back from setbacks and adapt in the face of adversity. It's what allows us to keep moving forward, even when things don't go as planned. Developing resilience involves a shift in perspective. Instead of viewing challenges as insurmountable obstacles, we can learn to see them as opportunities for growth and learning. This doesn't mean pretending that difficulties aren't hard or painful, but rather choosing to focus on what we can learn and how we can grow from these experiences. A key aspect of resilience is learning from setbacks. When things don't go as planned, take time to reflect. What can you learn from this experience? How can you apply this learning to future situations? By adopting this growth mindset, you turn setbacks into stepping stones for future success. Now, let's talk about practical strategies for integrating authenticity into your daily life. This is where the rubber meets the road, where we take all the self-awareness and inner work we've been doing and translate it into tangible actions. One powerful strategy is to create daily habits that reflect your authentic self. These could be small actions that align with your values and passions. For example, if creativity is important to you, you might set aside time each day for a creative pursuit, even if it's just for a few minutes. If connection is a core value, you might make it a habit to reach out to a friend or family member each day. Another strategy is to actively seek out and engage in activities that reflect your true self. This might involve pursuing hobbies or interests that you've neglected, or it could mean taking on projects at work that align with your strengths and values. The key is to consciously choose activities that allow you to express your authentic self. To support these strategies, there are several practical exercises you can incorporate into your daily routine. One powerful practice is setting daily intentions and reflections. Each morning, take a moment to set an intention for the day. How do you want to show up? What aspect of your authentic self do you want to express? Then, in the evening, reflect on how you lived that intention. Gratitude journaling is another valuable exercise. Regularly noting things you're grateful for can shift your focus to the positive aspects of your life and reinforce your authentic values. Try writing down 3 things you're grateful for each day, focusing on different areas of your life. Perhaps one of the most impactful exercises is practicing acts of courage in everyday life. This doesn't mean putting yourself in danger, but rather pushing yourself to step out of your comfort zone in small ways. It could be speaking up in a meeting, trying a new activity, or having a difficult but necessary conversation. Each act of courage builds confidence and reinforces your ability to live authentically. As you consistently practice these strategies and exercises, you'll likely start to see changes in how you approach life. At first, you might simply notice increased confidence in your daily interactions. You'll feel more comfortable expressing your opinions and making decisions that align with your values. With continued practice, you may find yourself regularly taking bold actions that align with your authentic self. You'll be proactively seeking out opportunities to express your true self and live your values, rather than just reacting to circumstances. The ultimate goal and the best possible outcome of this work is to live a life that is a true reflection of your authentic self. This doesn't mean every moment will be perfect or easy, but it does mean that overall, your life will be in alignment with who you truly are. You'll feel a sense of congruence between your inner self and your outer actions, leading to a deep sense of fulfillment and well-being. Of course, this journey of living boldly isn't without its challenges. Fear of failure is a common obstacle. We might hesitate to take bold action because we're afraid of making mistakes or facing disappointment. The key to overcoming this fear is to reframe how we view failure. Instead of seeing it as a final judgment on our abilities, we can view it as a learning experience, a necessary step on the path to growth and success. Inconsistency can also be a stumbling block. It's easy to be motivated and aligned with our authentic selves when things are going well, but it can be challenging to maintain this in the face of stress or adversity. Establishing routines and accountability can help. Create structures in your life that support your authentic living, and consider finding an accountability partner who can encourage and support you in staying true to yourself. Burnout is another potential pitfall. In our enthusiasm to live boldly and authentically, we might push ourselves too hard, neglecting self-care and balance. Remember, living authentically isn't about being perfect or pushing yourself to the brink. It's about sustainable, consistent alignment with your true self. Make sure to practice self-care and maintain balance in your life. As you continue on this path of living boldly, you'll likely find yourself feeling more alive, more fulfilled, and more authentically you. You'll be taking consistent action to express your true self, inspiring others through your example, and creating a life that truly reflects who you are at your core. But as exhilarating as this journey can be, it's not the end of the story. As you step into this bold, authentic way of living, you might find yourself facing an unexpected question. What happens when you've learned to live boldly, when you're consistently expressing your authentic self? What's the next frontier in this journey of self-discovery and authentic living? In our final chapter, we'll explore a dimension of authenticity that goes beyond individual expression, one that might surprise you with its power to transform not just your life, but the world around you. Are you ready to discover the ultimate expression of authentic living, the key to not just personal fulfillment, but to making a lasting impact on the world? Chapter 9, Embrace Freedom. Congratulations! You've reached the final chapter of this transformative journey. But as we stand at this threshold, it's important to recognize that this isn't an ending, it's a beginning. The journey of authenticity doesn't conclude with the last page of this book. Rather, it unfolds into a lifetime of growth, discovery, and freedom. So, what does it mean to embrace freedom in the context of authenticity? It's about more than just doing whatever you want. True freedom, in this sense, is the ability to live fully as your authentic self, unburdened by the weight of others' expectations or your own self-imposed limitations. It's about finding joy and fulfillment in being who you truly are. As we explore this concept, we'll draw on the groundbreaking work of Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi, particularly his idea of flow. This state of complete absorption in an activity where you lose track of time and self-consciousness is intimately connected to living authentically. But more on that later. First, let's reflect on how far you've come. Throughout this book, you've embarked on a journey of self-discovery and personal growth. You've learned to unmask yourself, embrace your authentic nature, silence critics, both internal and external, defy conformity, conquer anxiety, release the need for approval, and live boldly. Each of these steps has contributed to your personal transformation. Take a moment to recognize this growth. Perhaps you're now more aware of your true desires and values. Maybe you're better able to express yourself without fear of judgment. Or perhaps you've started pursuing goals that truly resonate with your authentic self. Whatever your specific growth looks like, acknowledge it. This recognition isn't just a pat on the back, it's fuel for the journey ahead. With this newfound authenticity comes a wellspring of confidence and skills. You're now equipped with tools to navigate life's challenges while staying true to yourself. This empowerment isn't just about feeling good, it's about having the capacity to create real change in your life and the world around you. One of the most beautiful outcomes of living authentically is the impact it has on your relationships. When you show up as your true self, you create space for deeper, more meaningful connections. Gone is the need to put up facades or play roles. Instead, you can engage with others from a place of genuine self-expression. Moreover, your authenticity can inspire others to embrace their true selves. As you live authentically, you give others permission to do the same. You become a living example of the freedom and fulfillment that comes from being true to oneself. This ripple effect of authenticity can extend far beyond your immediate circle. Imagine a world where more people felt free to express their true selves, to pursue their genuine passions, to live in alignment with their core values. The potential for innovation, creativity, and positive change is enormous. Now, let's talk about what you're capable of achieving now that you've embraced your authentic self. Goals that once seemed out of reach may now feel attainable. Why? Because you're no longer held back by the need to conform to others' expectations or by crippling self-doubt. You're free to pursue objectives that truly matter to you, not just those that you think you should pursue. Previous limitations and barriers may start to crumble. The anxiety that once held you back from speaking up in meetings? It may still be there, but now you have tools to manage it. The fear of judgment that kept you from pursuing your passion, it no longer has the power to stop you. You're equipped to overcome these obstacles, not because they've disappeared, but because you've grown stronger and more resilient. As you continue to practice the concepts from this book, you'll likely find that authentic living becomes easier and more natural. What once required conscious effort may become second nature. This ease doesn't mean you'll never face challenges, but rather that you'll have the tools and confidence to navigate them while staying true to yourself. This is where Csikszentmihalyi's concept of flow becomes particularly relevant. Flow is a state of optimal experience where you're fully immersed in what you're doing, feeling energized, focus, and enjoyment. It's often described as being in the zone. Csikszentmihalyi found that people are happiest when they're in a state of flow. And here's the fascinating connection to authenticity. We're most likely to experience flow when we're engaged in activities that align with our true selves. When we're expressing our authentic nature, using our genuine strengths, and pursuing our real passions, we're setting the stage for flow experiences. As you continue to live authentically, you may find yourself experiencing flow states more frequently. You might lose track of time while working on a project you're passionate about, or feel a sense of effortless action when engaging in activities that truly resonate with you. These flow experiences aren't just enjoyable, they're signs that you're living in alignment with your authentic self. But how do we sustain this growth and continue to embrace freedom in our daily lives? One key strategy is to view personal development as an ongoing journey rather than a destination. Stay curious about yourself and the world around you. Continue to question your assumptions and explore new aspects of your identity. Anticipate that there will be obstacles along the way. Old habits may try to reassert themselves. You might face situations that challenge your commitment to authenticity. The key is to view these challenges not as setbacks, but as opportunities for further growth and refinement of your authentic self. Finally, consider how you can inspire authenticity in others. This doesn't mean preaching or trying to change people. Rather, it's about leading by example. As you live authentically, you create a ripple effect, contributing to a culture that values individuality and self-expression. Imagine a world where more people felt free to be their true selves. A world where innovation flourishes because people aren't afraid to express unconventional ideas. Where relationships are deeper because people interact genuinely rather than through social masks. Where work is more fulfilling because people are engaged in pursuits that truly matter to them. This is the ultimate promise of embracing authenticity, not just personal fulfillment, but the potential to create positive change on a broader scale. By being true to yourself, you're not just improving your own life, you're contributing to a more authentic, creative, and compassionate world. As we conclude this book, remember that the journey doesn't end here. Each day presents new opportunities to express your authentic self, to engage in flow experiences, to inspire others through your example. The freedom you've discovered, the freedom to be truly, unapologetically you, is a gift that keeps giving to yourself and to the world. So, what's next? That's for you to decide. Your authentic journey is uniquely yours. But know this, armed with self-awareness, resilience, and the courage to be yourself, you're equipped to face whatever comes your way. You have the power to create a life that's genuinely yours, to pursue dreams that truly matter to you, and to make a meaningful impact in your own unique way. The path ahead may not always be easy, but it promises to be deeply fulfilling. As you step forward into this new chapter of your life, carry with you the knowledge that you are enough, just as you are. Your authentic self is your greatest strength and your truest guide. Embrace your freedom. Live your truth. The world is waiting for the unique gift that only you can give, the gift of your authentic self. But as you step into this new chapter of authentic living, you may find yourself facing complex decisions and challenging situations. How do you maintain your newfound authenticity when the pressure is on? The key lies in developing a skill that complements and enhances your journey of self-discovery. To truly thrive in your authentic life, you need to master the art of critical thinking in difficult situations. Discover how to stay calm and think smart in the audiobook, Stay Calm, Think Smart, The Art of Critical Thinking in Difficult Situations. It's the essential next step in your transformation journey. Tap the center of the video now to continue your growth and unlock your full potential.